What's going on, everybody? BP here, just looking to break down CANF from yesterday, 9/18/2015. It had a pretty crazy move the last couple days, and I had a lot of people sending me emails asking me if I would do a video on this because they couldn't understand why it made such a crazy move. And the answer to that question is there's really no way to know why the move was so ridiculous. The news itself was just simply fast track designation, which just means the approval process is pushed forward a little bit. It's definitely doesn't warrant a move of this nature, and it's not like they had an FDA approval or they had positive phase 2 or phase 3 results. It's just a simple moving forward of the process. So, in my opinion, there is another catalyst that's behind this move. Probably, maybe some sort of stock promotion where people are pushing out newsletters and emails to try to move the stock. It could potentially be some sort of pump and dump or stock manipulation. It could be a hedge fund that's coming in and buying shares, moving the stock up and down. It definitely happens on a regular basis. Even Jim Cramer mentioned it in a video. He talks about how his hedge fund used to do this. Also, it could be some sort of boiler room pump job. I mean, it could be a Stratton Oakmont style where they're blowing up phone calls, calling people up, pushing the stock, and making it move. I mean, it's just there's no reason why a stock should jump this high on fast track designation news. So when I took a look at the stock, I was looking at it 2 days ago, and I was checking the 6-month chart, and I actually thought that a good time to potentially short this would have been around the 330 resistance it showed on the 6-month chart. Of course, that turned out to be wrong. Definitely was not a good time. Now, sometimes you get a blessing in disguise. Luckily for me, I was unable to get shares in CANF. My broker did not did not have them at the time. So, but I want to tell you guys that if a trade goes against you, sometimes you're going to be wrong, sometimes you're going to lose. It's just a part of the game. So if the trade goes against you, you've got to keep your losses small. So had I got shares in this and it turned into a losing trade, everybody needs to assess their risk tolerance and have a threshold for when they get out of the stock. That way you don't end up here and get short squeezed like so many people did on this stock. So mine, I have a pretty high risk tolerance, so mine might be like 10%. So let's say I put 10K into CANF and it goes against me. It's moving up. Either have a stop loss set at 10%, or I use mental stops because I'm a full-time trader, so I can sit here and I can watch the stock pretty much throughout the day. But there's some times where you might leave to go to lunch and some big things can happen. So protect yourself, protect your downside, and make sure to set the stop loss in case something like this happens. Now, once it made this huge move, just if you know that there's huge price action and big volume, but you can't quite figure out what's going on with the stock, I know it can be frustrating. You go through, you're searching the news, you're looking at the forums, you see it blowing up with pumpers talking about how the stock's going to the moon. It can be kind of upsetting. The fear of missing out kicks in, which is terrible. You see the stock flying, and you just can't figure out why is this making this move. So when that happens, just don't worry about all that. Don't worry about why. Just focus on the price action and the volume itself. So obviously, in this case, had you gone long on this thing, you could have made a nice 100 plus gain if you hit it right. Which if you put in 10K, you can make 10K in a single day, and I know because I've done it myself. But here it was really crazy. It showed a little bit of support around this area here, around the 390. But I couldn't believe it. Shocked me when it made this move right here. That's got to be some sort of a pump right there. I mean, the stock looked like it was done. It popped on the open, then dropped from here. And just to move like this off support and just fly from $4 up to $7.55 is just insane. So I think something fishy was going on there. Who knows what it was? Could be anything. But the low float definitely has a big impact on this too. I think it's well under 10 million, which means it's super low, and those type of stocks can fly. So sometimes people shorted the stock. They might have shorted it here on this peak, and when this started to hit, they just got squeezed, and people came in, they bought it up. The shorts got squeezed. They had to cover, and when you cover, you're buying to cover, so it runs the stock even higher. And then up here, right when it started to consolidate, looking back on, let's see the 1-year chart. I was watching this carefully. You could see that. Hold on, let's go back to 2-year. you can see that I figured this wasn't going to go much higher than up in this 850 range. I thought maybe it could hit that resistance before it came down, but ended up being pretty close. Didn't quite get there. But once it gets up to to the all-time high, and you see it's a little bit of consolidation here, this probably would have been a good time to give it a shot. I wish I had short shares. I would have probably tried to short it there. Unfortunately, I didn't have them, so I missed out on the huge drop. And here was the dump. It came down and dropped from the 755 all the way down by the end of the day to 475 a share. Popped up a little bit. Now, the pumpers may not be done with this. They could try to go for a third day. Sometimes they'll run it down at the end of the day. And as you can see, it coincidentally ended up right where the resistance was from this morning's pop. The old resistance from this morning ended up being support. So when the stock drops big at the end of the day, that usually sets up a possible second day. You can see, actually, if you bought at the end of the day, you could have made some money here right there after hours. Could have made a nice little $1 a share or something like that. So keep a watch on this for Monday. I still think that overall the stock is overvalued because, like I said, the fast track designation news was not all that great. People will forget about this in a few weeks and it will fade back down to where it was. Alright, so I hope this helps you guys out. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. If you're interested in joining our trading room, just email me at bprising1@gmail.com or check out the website bprising.com. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.